Hey everyone, welcome back to 9 to 5 Linux, where we dive deep into the world of Linux to help you find the perfect distro for your needs. Today, we are tackling a classic debate. Can a beginner friendly powerhouse like Linux Mint 22.3 hold its own against the raw, optimized beast that is CachyOS? We are talking ease of use versus cutting edge performance in January 2026 fast evolving Linux scene. Can a system built for newcomers really compete with a distro tuned for power users in raw speed? We are pitting Linux Mint 22.3, the undisputed king of simplicity, against CatchOS, the optimization monster. Get ready for benchmarks, breakdowns, and a verdict that might flip your Linux worldview. Are you trading too much performance for that comfy, no fuzz experience? Or is all that bleeding edge power just unnecessary fluff for everyday tasks? We are slicing through the ultimate Linux puzzle. Mint's legendary accessibility versus CatchOS unstoppable speed. Which one claims the crown for the modern desktop? Forget the old stereotypes about beginner distros being slow and advanced ones being unstable. We are revealing if Mint's 22.3's polish friendliness can surprisingly match CatchOS high-tech tweaks in hands-on tests. The outcome could shake up what every Linux enthusiast thinks they know. Now, setting the stage. Why these two distros in 2026? Alright, let's set this scene. In 2026, Linux is more diverse than ever, with options for everyone from total newbies to hardcore tinkerers. We're comparing Linux Mint 22.3 and CatchOS because they represent opposite ends of the spectrum. One prioritizes a smooth, hassle-free ride, while the other chases every last drop of performance. The core conflict: ease versus power. Linux Mint is all about making Linux approachable, especially for folks switching from Windows or macOS. CatchOS, on the other hand, is for those who want their system screaming fast, even if it means a bit more setup. Linux Mint 22.3, codenamed Zena, is the latest point release in the Mint's 22 series, based on Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. It's a long-term support distro backed until 2029 with a legacy of stability and user-friendliness. Think pre-installed essentials, automatic updates, and an interface that feels familiar right away. It evolved with better VLAN support, updated Cinnamon Desktop to version 6.6, and refinements like improved scaling options and new icons for more modern look. CatchOS is an Arch Linux-based rolling release distro, constantly updated with the newest software. It's renowned for its performance tweaks, like custom kernels optimized for modern CPUs, and its favorite among gamers and power users. In 2026, it features the Linux CatchOS kernel with the Bow scheduler for better responsiveness, packed compiled with advanced instructions like x86 64 v4 or version 4, and link time optimization, which is LTO, plus options for PGO and Bolt for even more speed. It's not just fast, it's engineered to be blazing. Now, user experience deep dive, first impressions, and daily drivers. Let's start with what hits you first: the user experience. If you are new to Linux, this could make or break your journey. Installing is where Mint shines. It's a breeze with a graphical installer that guides you through partitioning, dual booting with Windows, and even testing hardware compatibility via a live USB. No command line wizardry needed. It's intuitive, taking about 20 to 30 minutes on average. CatchOS offers a GUI installer based on Calamar's, which is user friendly too, but it throws more choices at you, like selecting desktop environments or kernel variants during setup. There is also CLI option for pros, but for beginners, it might feel overwhelming, especially if you're dealing with the Arch Pacman package manager from the get-go. Desktop environments. Mint's default to Cinnamon, a clean, Windows-like interface with panels, menus, and easy customization. It's polished out of the box with options for themes and applets. CachyOS lets you pick from a buffet. KDE Plasma often recommended for its fluidity. GNOME, XFCE, or even VLAN capacitors like Hyperland. KDE on CachyOS feels snappier thanks to optimizations. But Mint Cinnamon is more straightforward. No deep dives into settings unless you want to. Software availability is another win for Mint's beginner's vibe. It uses apt for packages with a graphical software manager that's like an app store. Search, click, install. Based on Ubuntu, it has massive repositories, plus Flatpaks for extras. CachyOS relies on Pacman and the Arch user repository, which is AUR, which is powerful for bleeding edge apps, but requires more caution. AUR packages can be community maintained and might need manual tweaks. For a new user, getting software on Mint is effortless, while CachyOS rewards those who know their way around terminals. Now, under the hood, performance benchmarks and system resources. Now, the meaty part, which is performance. I ran this on identical hardware, a mid-range setup with an AMD Ryzen 5 16GB RAM and an NVIDIA RTX 3060 to keep it fair. Results are from real tests and community benchmarks, like those on some websites and YouTube comparisons. First, boot times and idle RAM. Mint 22.3 boots in about 25 to 30 seconds, idling at around 1.2 GB of RAM, efficient for a stable distro. CachyOS edges it out, booting in 15 to 20 seconds with idle RAM at 800 MB to 1 GB, thanks to its lightweight setup and optimized kernel. Synthetic benchmarks tell a cleaner story. In Geekbench 6, CachyOS scored higher, single core around 2200 versus Mint's 2000, and multi-core 12500 versus 11000. Some websites test for CPU, GPU, and disk I/O show CachyOS pulling ahead by 10 to 20% in tasks like completion or rendering due to its custom Bohr scheduler and LTO optimized packages. Mint holds steady but doesn't push those extras. Now, real world tests. For video rendering in DaVinci Resolve, CachyOS finished a 4K export 15% faster. Large file compression with 7-zip was quicker on CachyOS by about 20%. Gaming frame rates in Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p high settings, CachyOS averaged 85 FPS. Linux Mint around 75 FPS. The custom kernel and NVIDIA tweaks make a difference. But Mint stability means fewer crashes or driver hiccups for casual use. Now, the power user's playground versus the novice nook. Here is where philosophies clash. CachyOS is a playground for power users, offering kernel choice like EEVDF or RT for specific workloads, deep syscontrol tweaks for desktop responsiveness, and optimizations for Zen 4 CPUs. You get total control, but at a cost. Rolling releases can introduce bugs requiring troubleshooting skills. Mint, conversely, is the novice nook. Its community is massive, with forums full of beginner guides and quick fixes. Documentation is straightforward, and the update manager handles everything safely with snapshots for rollbacks. Stability is key. LTS means fewer surprises. Update philosophies differs too. Mint's point releases are tested and reliable, while CachyOS rolling model keeps you on the edge, potentially breaking things but delivering the latest features fast. Now, the verdict. Who reigns supreme for you in 2026. Summing it up, Mint 22.3 excels in stability, ease, and community support, which is perfect if you want a daily driver without headaches. About its weaknesses, not the fastest out of the box, and custom tweaks require extra efforts. CachyOS dominates in raw power, customization, and modern hardware optimization, but it demands more knowledge and tolerance for occasional issues. Revisiting the divide, Mint's friendliness has evolved with better performance in 2026, closing the gap on raw power. But CatchOS proves that for demanding tasks, optimizations matter. About the recommendations, go Mint if you are beginner, switching from Windows, or value reliability for work or productivity. Choose CatchOS if you are a gamer, developer, or a power user chasing speed. It's worth the learning curve in today's landscape. So, what do you think? Team Mint or Team CatchOS? Drop your experiences in the comments. Like if this helped, and subscribe for more Linux battles. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out.